Oh yes, finally! Oh my god, guys. I'm so fucking excited. I'm so close to crying because you know what? The biggest thing that I always wanted to be fixed on these TVs. I don't have anything wrong with this being gray. That's fine. But green was horrible. Gray is better after it's calibrated, right? But now it can be black, man. Where the heck is it? There, accessibility. And you're gonna go down. You have some other new stuff that's been added here. What you're gonna do is text with eye contrast. Woo! Yes, my fucking god. I'm so happy about this. You don't understand how much I'm sitting and calibrating this TV at night, and it blinds my eyes with that gray. It's so bright. Now, it won't be as bad. Okay, over to the video.
You're watching Everything OLED. Make sure to press subscribe to support the channel's growth.
Today, we got an absolutely insane update, and I'm super excited to be talking about this. 33.21.85 is the newest update on LG C4. Now, this update will be slightly different with the numbering on the G4 and on the B4, but it will be doing essentially the same thing. What does it aim to do? Well, it improves the TV in several key areas, but the most important thing that it does change is actually that now the TV is able to do some of the upscaling that the C5 and G5 is able to do. So that is exciting. Now, it doesn't up the hertz or anything. That is hardware. That's not possible. But the TV will be slightly faster. It will have some new cool features, and we're gonna go over them with you right away. But just know, AI upscaling has finally been updated into the new firmware version that the C5 used on launch day, which is very exciting because it has also been ironed out from what I understood. It wasn't that good on launch for the C5. It was kind of buggy, has become better and better, and now it is to the point where they wanted to release it to the C4. And this is gonna happen. If we get the C6 next year, we're gonna have to wait one more year from now on to 1 year ahead, and then we're gonna get the C6 upscaling as much as possible anyways. If it's requiring a lot of hardware power to drive that new upscaling, then we might not get that level of upscaling difference. But you get the idea. So, let's get into it. So, let's read over some small tidbits of what they've essentially added in this new WebOS Renew program. It essentially just takes everything from the newer panels as much as it can, and it brings it to the older panels. Only C4, B4 and G4 will get these features, so if you have an older LG OLED, you won't be able to get these upgrades. So, they are saying in key improvements, they are adding the AI concierge and AI chatbot to the TV. We already had that, but now it's improved and a lot better apparently. Well, so that's nice. They've added new cue cards. Essentially what they did before, they actually added what is it called? The Xbox app, so you can now essentially have a wireless Xbox built into the TV. If you have good Ethernet, like really fast, like 100 megabit download, 150 megabit upload, you should have enough to get an Xbox-like experience just from the TV without even owning a console now, which is great. And they're talking a little bit about, you know, changing the game cue card. The most important stuff is like upscaling and whatnot. That's what I want to show off. So, personalized picture wizard. And this was a thing before that kind of didn't do that much before. It kind of just wrecked the whole image, in my opinion, made the image very blue. Some people like that, and that's totally fine then. We can also personalize it, right, to make it more in line with how you would want it when you're personalizing it at first, and then you have your preset. Now, it seems you can enable an option to make it automatically kind of adjust the picture quality, no like mattering on what happens on the display. So if it's 480p, it's gonna try to upscale if it can. 720p, it's gonna do its own upscaling for that. So I think the sharpness and the upscaling algorithm is now going to schedule differently depending on what quantity is on screen. Whereas before it was 720p, then you get 720p type upscaling, 1080p, 1080p type upscaling. Now it's going to be fluctuating and changing in the same manner that lossless scaling will be doing when it's fluctuating the frame rate input for inserting frames essentially with the adaptive, what is it called? Adaptive frame mode? I don't know what it's, I don't remember. You get the idea though. It's kind of a dynamic way of changing how that app works. And they're also talking about it will try to transform images into desired style by improving image resolution or adjusting colors, and it can do both at the same time as well. So that's one thing. They're talking a little bit about the upscaling there, but they aren't really glazing us with the upscaling, because the upscaling isn't really the key areas that they care about personally. They just want to make it a little bit more up to par and newer and better. So they've improved the upscaling model. How good is it? I'm gonna review that in a second. So Google Cast, they've improved the Google Cast function on the TV. For me here in Sweden, it was already lossless. I didn't notice any differences or latency or anything when using it. I don't really use it actually, but when I did, it worked perfectly fine. But now it's even better. They've added so that experience your favorite apps and content, or design with high and high quality big screen. Yeah, you get the idea, right? They've enhanced it in some way. Maybe it just can use the upscaling now, which would be cool, because before I don't remember it being able to do that, so that would be nice. Now they've added LG Gallery Plus, which is a new thing, at least on the C4. So essentially, with LG Gallery Plus, you can now create your own albums, collect photos tailored to your personal taste, choose various artworks, personalized styles, or themed photos and videos that match your home's ambience, which it sounds like you could essentially put a fireplace on your TV and just let that be your lock screen type thing on the TV, which could be very comfy in the winter and around. Oh man, you know what? Yeah, this is a great update for sure. It could be really nice. Generate your own images using voice commands and enjoy them in gallery mode. That sounds like it's an AI type thing. You talk to the AI and it creates an image for you. Maybe that's not what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if the TV is now controlled a little bit more by AI. So it says after WebOS upgrade, terms and conditions change, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you get the idea, and it also says that you're not able to revert to the older software update. We all know that you can kind of do that, but not in a normalized way. So now, we gotta check out the AI upscaling. The AI upscaling has always been something that we have been talking about on the channel. If it changes, we gotta look at it. So I'm gonna review it for movies, then we're gonna go over to reviewing it for games. So first, let's check out movies, and let's see if I can actually spot a difference. So you know what? Two things have changed. So I checked out House MD on Netflix. This is essentially sending a signal in 720p in some seasons, and then some seasons it's 1080p. So I checked out 720p, 1080p. And it's clearly slightly sharper in a way where if you're looking at a TV series now, it is gonna look very, very much the same thing. It's not gonna be that big of a difference. But you can see the pores are now a little bit more bump mappy. They're pushing out the pores a little bit. And the higher you go with the sharpness, it will be the same as before. It becomes more aggressive. But I think the thing that is the most important here is now it doesn't look as upscaled as it did before. And I also noticed for games, when you're using the super resolution mode and you're not even using any AI upscaling per se, even on PC or gaming console, doesn't matter, super resolution mode on high will now do more AI upscaling than it did before. So it should be cleaner in the image resolve than before and sharper than before, which would be nice. There's also one issue that they've not fixed, but they have made it a little better, and that is when you up the sharpness and there's film grain on the screen. Before, the image accidentally became a little blurry. Now it doesn't seem that it becomes that blurry anymore when you're upping the sharpness. So now it only ups the sharpness, it doesn't accidentally get blurry. However, if you're watching something that is native 4K, no streaming, it's very possible that it still gets a little blurry, because that would have so fine grain, film grain, that it will be very hard for the TV not to accidentally detect that as in a sharp line, and then maybe it gets a little blurrier. I haven't checked for that, but I'll tell you this, from what I've seen, just testing it back and forth, this is 720p by the way, I think it looks great. It's slightly improved, it's not a big deal for 720p, I think it just looks a little better, a little bit cleaner, you have a little bit more details on his jacket here. Before it was a little smoother, but it's not that big of a deal. And when you're sitting like 2 meters away, 3 meters away, it's just overall gonna look like high resolution. If you sit very close like I am right now, it doesn't look that crazy, you know. It looks like before kinda, but a little bit better. So yeah, it's great, it's improved, but it's not something that I think the C3 is missing out on too much, or the C2. It's more of a, you know, or the C1. I think it's great. It's cool that they're upgrading it. Not that crazy though. Let's go over to gaming. Okay, so here we are. Now we are in Overwatch and we're running the game at native 1080p, no upscaling. And I can tell you this, it already looks very clean, but I already have sharpness enabled. We're not going to be utilizing any super resolution because that's not possible when you're in PC mode and you're on PC and you're running in SDR mode, you can enable it using the color control app. I might make a video on that in the future, but I'm a little hesitant on using it personally. Let me know if you like it and if it works for you. So now when I go into the game optimizer here, we're going to be changing the sharpness, and I kind of want to zoom in for you guys so that you can see the difference, because otherwise it's going to be hard, of course, to see the difference. 1080p, no anti-aliasing, you're going to get like sharp pixelated lines. The TV will upscale and smooth that over, so now 1080p looks cleaner. You would get that benefit if you're playing Helldivers 2, for example, and you disable anti-aliasing. Some of the lines, if the TV can detect it, it will smooth it out, which would be great. And that was already like that before, but now it's more aggressive and it works better. It's more like precise with where the pixelated lines are, so you can now utilize it more. And if you're looking very closely to how the sharpness looks, it's clearly going from blurry to sharp. So it's kind of rescaling the 1080p image. Upscaling, upscaling. No upscaling, upscaling. No upscaling, upscaling. Yeah, you clearly see it becomes sharper, it looks higher res, it looks better. I don't know how it looks on the camera. In some weird way, making it into a 4K like resolve. Now, imagine using upscaling, doing this on top with upscaling. So now you're getting a super sharp image with DLSS or FSR4 or PSSR. So yeah, it's very cool. I'm excited for this. I think it looks fucking amazing, guys. Honestly, this is great. So there we go. What do you guys think about this? I think it's absolutely amazing. And if you guys want more information about this, I'll make more videos in the future. Battlefield 6 is just around the corner, so a blue tint delete is in the works. It's basically already completed, but let's say I'm working on it still. I'm not really. I'm kind of done with that already, like a long time ago. But let's pretend that it will be dropping soon, just to hype it up a little bit. And SDR gaming on PC, Dolby Vision gaming on PC and Xbox, and HDR movies calibration is coming very soon. So keep that into consideration for the future of the channel. Some content is around the corner. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.